Meat keeps getting more expensive, and you probably don't understand why. It's not a one-off spike, it's a structural shift. There are three main drivers. First, costs. Fuel, animal feed, soy, grains, fertilizers. All of it has been climbing, largely because of the international conflicts, like the wars in Ukraine and Iran. Second, climate change. Droughts, floods, extreme weather events, hitting both livestock and the food they rely on. Third, shrinking supply. Fewer animals, due to disease outbreaks and an intensive farming system that's starting to crack. And with every new conflict, food inflation doesn't slow down, it speeds up. This isn't a blip, it's cumulative. And above all, it's a system that costs more and more to keep alive. Now there's something that isn't following that logic. Plant proteins, beans, lentils, tofu have remained relatively cheap because they don't depend on the same level of intensive inputs or on supply chains so exposed to increasing climate instability and volatile oil prices. That's why the gap with meat just keeps widening. And that gap is no longer small. It's starting to decide what people can eat and what they can't. The hardest hit are the families with the least resources, who've already maxed out their food budgets. But it's not just about price. There's a nutritional dimension too. In many countries, especially across Europe and the United States, fibre intake falls below recommended levels. And these sources address that directly. In this context, plant proteins stop being an alternative and become part of the solution, not because of ideology, out of necessity. And that's where a key player comes in. Supermarkets. They're the architects of our shopping baskets. They have the power and the responsibility to lead the shift to make it easy. More choices, better placement, better quality, more promotion. The easier it is to reach for plant-based options, the more likely the shift actually happens. Making it easy is not a nice to have. It's part of the solution. Our message to supermarkets is clear. Be part of the solution and champion plant proteins as the essential move to protect our health, our wallets, and our planet.